Hello viewers, welcome to Nature Academy. This is Dr. Sheikh Ahmed. In the previous lecture, we have studied the first postulates of quantum mechanics. The first postulate discuss about the state of the system, and the state of the system can be described by a wave function. In this lecture, we are going to study the second postulate of quantum mechanics. The second postulate deals with operators. For every observable, there corresponds to a linear Hermitian operator. For every observable, what is observable? Observable is nothing but a measurable quantity. It can be position, it can be momentum, it can be spin, it can be rotation, it can be acceleration, anything. Every measurable quantity, every measurable physical quantity is known as observable. For each and every observable, there is a linear operator, and that too a Hermitian operator. What is Hermitian operator? We'll discuss later. So here please remember that every observable is associated with an operator. So this is second postulate of quantum mechanics. So let us see some examples of observables and corresponding operators. The first one is position. So it can be represented R bar, or if you want to discuss the one-dimensional component, that is simply I can write X bar. So X bar is position here, and correspond to this position X bar, we can find corresponding operator R bar if it is X, and I can write X cap. Similarly, there is momentum operator P bar, and corresponding operator is capital P bar, and I can write it as minus H bar del. I can also write the kinetic energy, which is given by P square by 2m. You can also write a corresponding operator T cap as minus H square by 2m del square. Like that, total energy and angular momentum also we can write. So these are the examples of observables and corresponding operators. What is the meaning of an operator? Operator is nothing but a mathematical rule. When you apply this rule to some state of the system will change. So there are some examples of state operators. So look this one. This is a notation how to represent an operator. Here a cap is the operator which when applied on a vector psi, here psi is a ket vector here, then you will get another vector ket vector psi prime. Okay, both psi and psi prime belongs to same vector space. So this is the representation of an operator. And operator can also act on that bra vector, then you will get another bra vector of the same space. So I want to give some other examples. So position is an operator, momentum is an operator, kinetic energy, total energy, linear momentum, angular momentum, all these are operators. There are some other operators like unitary operator. Actually it is unity operator. I cap when acts on psi, you will get the same psi. Parity operator, gradient operator, and linear momentum operator. So there are two types of operators. One is linear operator and non-linear operators. In linear operators, we have so many examples. So we will discuss all the examples of linear operators in this class. So let us start with linear operators. Operators are maybe different types. So I will start with linear operator. This is very important. Linear operator. So linear operator must have two conditions, two properties. The one is additive property, other one is homogeneous property. Any operator satisfying these two conditions, two properties, are known as linear operators. So what is additive property? When there is an operator A is operating on psi 1 and psi 2, you will get A1. Here A1 you can take it as a constant. Actually this A1 is eigenvalue. We'll discuss about this eigenvalue in the next coming lecture. So you can take A1 and A2 constants for time being, then you will get this type of behavior. Similarly, when you apply this operator on these bra vectors, you will get this one. And homogeneous property is when you operate operator A on a state vector psi, you will get like this. So any operator satisfying this condition 1 and 2, that is additive property and homogeneous property, are known as linear operators. So I will give examples here. Let us start with the first one. The derivative d by dx is a linear operator. The derivative with respect to s, derivative with respect to y, second derivative, third derivative, and nth derivative is also a linear operator. Integration is a linear operator. all quantum mechanical operators, position square, momentum, kinetic energy, potential energy, total energy, Laplacian operator, and outer product is also an example of linear operator. Let us check the d by dx is a linear operator or not. So I want to apply the additive property here. So when d by dx, assume that d by dx is an operator, he is operating on a wave function psi1 and a2 is there and psi2. I can write this operator as simply a1 d by dx of psi1 plus a2 into d by dx of psi2. So you can write a function acting on f plus g, f plus or minus g is equals to, if you write f like this plus or minus operator acting on g, then I can call this is a linear operator. So derivative is d by dx is a linear operator. You can also apply the second derivative also, d square by dx square. You can also apply the same additive property here. The second derivative is also a linear operator and integration is also a linear operator. Okay, I want to check whether the integration is a linear operator or not. So again take two functions psi1 plus psi2 and apply integration on this one. Then so assume that the integration is with respect to dx. So here the operator is integration. Integration is acting on two wave functions. Then I can simply write this integration psi1 dx plus integration psi2 dx. That means integration is also a linear operator. We can also check the homogeneous property here, students. For example, integration of a function which is multiplied with a c and let us call it psi of x with respect to dx. I can write this function as c into integral psi of x into dx. So homogeneous property is also holds good for integration. Derivative and integrations, these are also operators, okay, and these are linear operators. The position momentum operators also linear operators. Laplacian operator is also linear operator. What is Laplacian operator? Del square, I can write it as dou square by dou x square plus dou square by dou y square and it is dou square by dou z square. So these are also linear operators. Outer product, the fifth one is important, students. So when you write a bra vector with the ket vector like this is known as a outer product. Sometime if you write psi like this will be your projection operator. Okay, so projection operator is also a linear operator. And okay, so the density matrix is used to study the time evolution of the atomic system. Okay, I can write density matrix like this one. So all these five are examples for the linear operators. You can also have non-linear operators. When the operators follow the additive and homogeneous property, we can call them linear operators. Otherwise, we can call them as non-linear operator. The square root is an example for non-linear operator, and square of a function is an example for non-linear operator. Logarithmic function and trigonometric function, sin x, cos x, are non-linear operators. But the combination of sin x and cos x, like sin x plus cos x, may or may not be linear operators. Okay. So take an operator here, it is a square root is an operator, and when the square root is acting on a function, let us say it is acting on 2 of x. So I am checking for the homogeneous property. When square root is acting on 2 into x, under 2 into x, you will get root 2 into root x, right? And this is not equals to 2 into root x. So what is operator here? So here operator a cap is root and it is acting on a function 2x. You should get 2 into a cap x. Then I can say a is a linear operator. But what you are getting here, root 2 into a of x. You are not getting 2 into root of x. From this we can conclude that square root is not a linear operator. So now second example. So what is the second one? The second one is square of the function. Let us have a look on the square of the function again. Square of the function. is not a linear operator. This is also non-linear operator. For example, operator A is acting on the function x such that it is given that x square. Now I want to check the square. This is a linear operator or not. So to check the condition, just replace x with y. Just replace x with x plus y. Then you can write like this. Right, x plus y whole square, which can be written as x square plus y square plus 2xy. So x square is nothing but a is operating on x plus y square is nothing but a is operating on y plus there is a 2xy term. That means this is also not a linear function. Similarly, you can check log and sin x functions are also non-linear functions. Let us solve one problem here. This is question number 1. Define a on x is equals to mx, where m is a real number. Show that the operator a is a linear operator. When a is operating on x plus y, you should get a of x plus a of y. Okay, so then we can say that given function is linear operator. Given that a of x is equals to mx. This is the equation, right? This is the equation for a straight line passing through origin. When a of a is operating on x, you got m into x. Now check for the additive property here. So I can write this is mx. So this is mx plus my, which can be written as mx is what? This is a on x, my is a on y. Therefore, a operating on two functions, linear combination functions, you got this one. Now check for homogeneous property. Homogeneous property is when a is acting on c into x, you should get c into a on x. You can also write in terms of wave function. A is operating on wave function a psi. You should get small a and the operator and the wave function. So when operator obeys this formula, we can say the given operator is linear operator. So what is given in this problem? E of x is m into x, and this can be written as m into c into m into x. This is simply c into a of x. Okay, m into x is a of x. So homogeneous property also holds good. So that means the given operator is a linear operator. So a straight line passing through origin is a representation of a linear operator. So from this one, I can say that the function a on x is equals to mx is a linear operator. There is another question. Question number 2. Define a of x on m is equals to mx plus b, where m is a fixed real number. Verify that a of x is a non-linear operator. So this is an equation of straight line making some intercept. So check for the additive property. So no need to go for the homogeneity. If you check for the additive property, you can get an idea whether it is a linear operator or not. So replace x with a plus x with x plus y. We will get like this. I can write. So this is mx plus my plus b. Mx plus b is simply a operating on x, and whatever the leftover term is, that is m into y. Therefore, the operator on x of plus y is not equals to operator on x plus a operating on y. It means this is not a linear operator. Simply it is a non-linear operator. So you should remember here, sometimes you will get some theoretical question stating that one straight line is passing through origin, and here we write y is equals to mx. Another equation which is making some intercept c with the y-axis. This is y is equals to mx plus b or mx plus c. So first one is a linear operator and second one is a non-linear operator. So moving on to next problem. So this question appeared in HCU PhD entrance exam 2014. Which of the operators a1 and a2 defined by a1 operating on phi of x is, this is phi square f x, and the second operator is sine of phi x. Okay, is linear or not? So in the beginning of the class, I gave examples for non-linear operators. What are the examples for non-linear operators? First one is square root is a non-linear operator, square is a non-linear operator, logarithm function is a non-linear operator, and trigonometric function like sin x, cos x, tan x, all these are non-linear operators. The first one is phi square x. This is phi square x. Phi square x. First one is phi square x. So I can write this is phi of x into phi of x, or I can write this is phi of x square. So when you have a square, that is non-linear. That means a1 is non-linear. Next, second one is sin phi, trigonometric function. a2 is trigonometric function. So that is also non-linear. So option D is the correct one. Neither a1 nor a2 are linear operators. Both are non-linear operators. Let us have a look on the problem number 4. This problem appeared in just 2013. The operator d by dx minus x into d by dx plus x is equivalent to. So here the 4 options are given. So you have to select the correct one. Given operator is d by dx minus x into d by dx plus x. So this operator definitely acts on a wave function. So I will take a wave function here, psi of x. So when this operator is acting on a wave function psi of x, what could be the result? So first I will multiply the terms inside the two brackets, d by dx and d by dx is there. So this is simply d square by dx square plus d by dx of x. And the second term is minus x into d by dx minus x square, and there is a wave function psi of x. So see, multiply with psi of x, so we will get d by dx square psi of x plus d by dx of x into psi of x minus x into d by dx of psi of x minus x square psi of x. The first term is d square by dx square, and there is a single term which depends on x, that is psi of x. Here you have to apply UV formula. You have to apply the derivative of x into psi of x. So apply the UV formula. U into derivative of v, that is d by dx of psi of x plus u into derivative of first function, that is x, minus x into d by dx of psi of x minus x square psi of x. So here you can see minus plus x into d by dx of psi of x minus x into d by d of x. So what are the terms here? So d square by dx square, and this is psi of x plus psi of x is here into d by dx is how much? So d by dx of x is simply 1 and minus x square psi of x. So I can write this as d square by dx square plus 1 minus x square into psi of x. So what is on left hand side? So this term is on left hand side. So psi of x you can remove here. Now what is the answer? D square by dx square plus 1 minus x square is the correct option. So option B is correct one. And there is another question. This is TAFR 2013 question. This is also very simple. Consider a quantum mechanical system with three linear operators A, B, C, which are related by AB minus C is equals to I, where I is the unity operator, I is the unit operator. If A is d by dx and B is equals to x, then what is the value of C? So this question appeared in TAFR 2013. First, check whether the given operators are linear operators or not. Yes, A is given, the derivative, this is a linear operator. B is given, that is x, x is also linear operator. Now you have to find C is a linear operator or not. Operator A, B minus C is equals to I. So these are the operators. So if you want to find the solution, you must apply these operators on a wave function. Let me take this is psi, and here this is I into psi. So what will you get here? A B psi this is C psi is equals to I psi. What is A? A is d by dx. What is b? B is x and this is psi, and this is psi is equals to I into psi. When you apply the UV formula, you will get x into dou psi, x into d by dx of psi plus psi into d by dx of x minus c. This is an operator. Psi is equals to I into psi. So this is x into d psi by dx, and this is psi d by dx, d by dx of x is 1, and this is c. Psi is equals to I into psi. Or I can write x into d by dx, this is psi, and this is minus I psi is equals to c into psi. I psi is nothing but psi, and this psi and this psi get cancelled. So you get x into d by dx is equals to simply your operator c. Right? X into d by dx is simply operator c. So option D is the correct option. Next, so one of the most important operator is Hermitian operator. Any operator is said to be an Hermitian operator if you write like this: a dagger is equals to a. Here this is an operator and this is an operator. If you write a dagger is equals to a, that operator is known as Hermitian operator. What is a dagger? A dagger is nothing but, here I will write in simple words, a dagger is take the operator a, transpose it, that means change the rows and columns, change the elements, and after that apply the complex conjugate. Or you can first apply the complex conjugate, after that you can transpose the matrix elements, you can transpose the rows and columns. So that is known as a Hermitian or adjoint operator. So this Hermitian operator has some special properties. Let's discuss the properties here. I'll quickly go through these properties. If you operate Hermitian operator twice, you will get the same operator. And Hermitian operator on constant is, you will get complex conjugate, and this is a. And these are the properties. A power n dagger is equals to a dagger and n. And when you have some operators in summation, when you have operators like this, if you apply the dagger, you will get like this, and this is the important one. So if you have, for example, if you have two operators a, b, and you have applied this Hermitian conjugate on this one, Hermitian adjoint, you will get b dagger and a dagger. So this is the notation. So these are the important properties, and there are some other properties which we study in the next lesson. Eigenvalues of Hermitian operator are real. Eigenfunctions of Hermitian operators are orthogonal. We will discuss these eigenvalues and eigenfunctions in our lecture number 3, in our next coming lecture, that is postulates of quantum mechanics part 3. Okay, there we study what is these Hermitian eigenvalues and orthogonal eigenfunctions. An operator A is said to be skew Hermitian or anti-Hermitian if it is equals to a. If we can write like this, a dagger is equals to minus a, then we can call it as an anti-Hermitian operator or skew Hermitian operator. So this is the thing here. We have psi and phi here. So interchange, that means transpose the matrix first, transpose it, after that apply the complex conjugate. If you get minus sign, that is skew Hermitian matrix. Okay, there is a question in GATE 2016. Which of the following operator is Hermitian? A into d by dx, d square by dx square, I into d square by dx square, b into dq by dx. We know that, I am not going into the detailed explanation. We know that d by dx is a skew Hermitian operator. D by dx is a skew Hermitian operator. So d by dx dagger is equals to minus d by dx. Now what is d square by dx square? D square by dx square is nothing but d by dx of again d by dx. Now I want to check the Hermitian condition, Hermicity of this d square by dx square. Then you apply this one. So for this one you will get minus d by dx, and this one you will get minus d by dx. So as a result you will get plus d square by dx square. So this is in the form a dagger is equals to a. When a dagger is equals to a, that a is a Hermitian operator. So that means here d square by dx square is an Hermitian operator, and I into d square by dx square is skew Hermitian again. Let's check it. I into d square by dx square. Apply the Hermitianity condition here. When you operate Hermitianity on I, you will get minus I, and anyways d square by dx square is simply d square by dx square. So this is not a Hermitian operator. So this is not a Hermitian operator. This is not a Hermitian operator. So d cube by dx cube will be not be a Hermitian operator, since you can write like this: d by dx of d square by dx square. So d by dx, when you operate Hermitianity on this one, you will get minus d by dx and d square by dx square. So you will get minus sign here. This is also skew Hermitian operator. So what is the correct option here? Option B is the right option. So now please tell me that the momentum operator minus IH bar d by dx is a Hermitian operator or not. So minus IH bar will become plus IH bar, and d by dx on Hermitian you will get IH bar, and this will become minus d by dx. So minus IH bar. So this is A, operator A, and you are getting again operator A. So from this I can say momentum is a Hermitian operator. The next one is the third one, projection operator. So we have started with a linear operator, and the second one is a Hermitian operator. The third one is projection operator. An operator is said to be a projection operator if p dagger is equals to p and p square is equals to p. What do you mean by dagger here? I'll repeat again. The transposed conjugate. If you want to write p dagger, that means first you have to transpose p. That means you have to make rows and columns, and you have to interchange the rows and columns, and after that write the complex conjugate. So if an operator is said to be projection operator if p dagger is equals to p and p square is equals to p, such type of operators are projection operators. The product of two commuting projection operators is also projection operator. Product of two operators. Let us say this is P1 and this is P2. So this is a product. And commuting projection operators. So I will write what is commuting means. If I can write P1, P2, two operators like this, then I can say P1, P2 are commuting. So P1, P2 is 0 means if I can write this is as P1, P2 minus P2, P1 is equals to 0, or operator P1, P2 is equals to P2, P1. So all these are operators. If I can write a P1, P2 is equal to P2, P1, then I can say the two operators are commuting each other. So two commuting projection operators, product of two commuting projection operators, that is P1 and P2, is also a projection operator. Let us check this one. So apply the dagger here. What will you get? You will get here P2 dagger first and next P1 dagger. And since it is a projection operator, P2 dagger will become P2 and P1 dagger will become P1. If the two operators are commuting each other, P2 P1 can be written as P1 P2. P2 P1 can be written as P1 P2. Therefore, P1 P2 dagger is equals to P1 P2. The product of two commuting operators is also a projection operator. Okay, if you want you can also check the second condition. What is second condition? This one, p square is equals to p, then p1 p2 whole square. When you write this one, you should get p1 and p2. You can also verify this one. So this is the third property of projection operator. The first property is p dagger equals to p, second property is p square is equals to p. Sum of two projection operators is generally not a projection operator. There is another important operator, that is unitary operator. So what is unitary operator? An operator said to be unitary if you can write u dagger is equals to u inverse, or u dagger u is equals to u dagger into I. So any operator, any linear operator satisfying this condition is known as unitary operator. The product of two unitary operators is also unitary. There is an important question which is related to unitary operator. When a state vector psi transforms into another state vector psi prime by a unitary transformation. Unitary transformation means the operator, you can say A is an operator. If you write like this, so this is an unitary transformation. Okay, U is an unitary operator. When unitary operators are acting on a like that, So you will get another vector, another operator, is A prime. I'll go through the question again. When a state vector psi transforms into another state vector psi prime by unitary transformation, an operator A transforms as A prime. Show that if A is Hermitian, that means if A is Hermitian, A dagger is equals to A, then you have to prove that, you have to show that A prime is also Hermitian. So we have to prove that A prime is equals to A prime dagger equals to A prime. This is one thing. Second one, the eigenvalues of A prime are the same as A. So these are the two problems we have to prove here. He also given that A is Hermitian, that is A dagger is equals to A. We have to show that A prime dagger is equals to A prime. This is our aim. What are the given conditions? A prime is equals to U operator A, U dagger, and A dagger is equals to A. Then we have to show that A prime dagger is equals to A. That is first one. So we have to prove this one as an Hermitian operator. That means A1 or A prime, apply the dagger here. So this is an RHS. So you have to apply the dagger again here. So when you apply this Hermitian operator, you will get U, and this is A dagger, and again U dagger. So I also given that A dagger is equals to A, then I can write this A dagger is A, this can be written as U dagger. So what is this? This is nothing but A prime. So therefore A prime dagger is equals to A prime. That means A prime is Hermitian. The first condition is proved. When an operator A transforms as A prime, then I can say that A and A prime both are Hermitians. When operator A transforms as another operator A prime under unitary transformation, then A and A prime both are Hermitians. This is one thing. And second one, we have to prove that the eigenvalues of A prime and eigenvalues of A are same. When A is operating on a wave function psi n, we'll get the same wave function psi n with an eigenvalue an. So here a1 an is the eigenvalue for this operator. Eigenvalue is nothing but the result of the measurement. When you do some measurement on system, we will get the result, right? So that result is known as eigenvalue. So when A is operating on psi n, you will get an. So we have to prove that when A prime is acting on psi n, we should also get same an and psi n. So now let us solve the second one. Given that U is an unitary transformation, that means U dagger is equals to I, and A is an Hermitian operator, and eigenvalues of A, that means you have to write A operating on psi n, you will get eigenvalue an, and this is psi n. So A can be modified like this. When you insert U dagger U on both sides, there is no change in the equation since U dagger is an identity operator. Now multiply this above equation with U on both sides, you will get, this is the wave function, and this is an, and again U dagger U psi n. U dagger is nothing but A prime, and this is U on psi n, and this is an, and this is your identity operator, and you got U on psi n. Let us call this U acting on psi n is psi n prime, and this is an, and this is psi n prime. Here an is eigenvalue of A prime. Initially we have considered that here an is eigenvalue of A. We started with this assumption an is eigenvalue of A, and we use the unitary transformation, that is U dagger I. Then after doing some simple mathematics, I have arrived at A prime acting on psi n is equals to an into psi n. You can take prime also here. So an is the eigenvalue. That means the final conclusion is when there is an unitary transformation. What is unitary transformation? U into ui is I. If we write like this, then I can call U is a unitary operator. And unitary transformation means when you operate U dagger and U like this an operator, then you will get another operator A prime. There is an important question in TFR 2012. Two different 2 by 2 matrices A and B are found to have the same eigenvalues. It is then corrected to the state A is equals to SB S inverse, where S can be. Two different 2 by 2 matrices A and A prime are found to have same eigenvalues. Here An is eigenvalue. It is then corrected to the state that one of them, so A can be written as U into U prime into U minus. Since unitary operator is nothing but U minus, you can write like this. This is an unitary operator. A is given like this, U A prime U minus. This can be also written as U A prime U dagger. Or you can take matrix A as A prime and B as A. So you will get the same approximation. What is this? A prime is equals to U A U dagger. The previous example, in the previous problem, we got this expression, right? A prime is equals to U into A U dagger. Then both A and A dagger have same eigenvalues and both are Hermitian. Now he is asking what is S. We just replace S with U. Okay, just compare this problem with the previous problem. Then what is S? S is simply unitary matrix. Okay, since A and B are matrices here, U will be matrix. Since A and B are 2 by 2 matrices, U will be a matrix, 2 by 2 matrices. So option C is the correct one. So it's a unitary matrix, 2 by 2 matrix. And there are some properties of commutator algebra. So A comma B, we can write like this. If AB minus BA, then we call it a commutator. If you write like this, AB plus BA, that is the anti-commutator, and we can also call it as a Poisson bracket. XPS is equal to IH bar. The commutator between position and momentum operator is IH bar. You can also write XPX, the position and momentum, that will be simply IH bar. So if you want to write them in operator form, you should use an identity operator. So we have to get the proof here. XPX is equal to IH bar. So if you derive this expression, it is easy to apply the same technique for any higher order commutations. The operator x comma px, if you write the commutator algebra here, if you use the same commutator formula, this is simply xpx minus pxx. Okay, so these are the operators here. Now I'll start with the first term, xpx. So this is simply x. What is px? That is minus IH bar dou by dou x, and this should operate on some wave function psi of x. So here also you can write psi of x. Next, what is px on x? Px is minus IH bar dou by dou x, and there is an operator x, so into psi of x. Okay, so simplify this one, you will get minus IH bar, apply the UV formula, x into dou psi by dou x plus psi of x into 1. This is dou by dou x of x, so you will get 1. So minus IH bar x dou by dou x plus, so this is 1 here, you can take psi of x common. Okay, so substitute the both here, xpx minus pxx. Xpx is simply minus IH bar x dou by dou x minus IH bar dou by dou x, there is an x here, minus px. So minus of minus plus you will get, and IH bar 1 plus x into dou by dou x. So this is minus x and this is plus x thing will get cancelled. So here minus IH bar dou by dou x plus IH bar dou by dou x with x get cancelled. Finally you will get IH bar. So there is a question in HCU PhD entrance exam 2017. Commutator of two Hermitian operators is Hermitian, anti-Hermitian, unitary or anti-unitary. Commutator of two Hermitian operators. Let us say A and B are Hermitian operators. Hermitian operators means A dagger is equals to A, B dagger is equals to B. So let us take A comma B. This is commutator. Now I want to check whether it is unitary or Hermitian or anti-Hermitian. So what is the formula here? I have to write B dagger comma A dagger. So this is the property of Hermitian operator. Since A and B are Hermitian, B dagger can be written as B and it is A. So I can write this as BA minus AB. I am trying to expand this operator, commutator. So this can be written as, we take minus common, AB minus BA, or I can write minus of commutator A comma B. I have started with an operator A comma B, commutator of A comma B. On dagger you got minus. That means the given one is anti-Hermitian. This is like X dagger is like minus X. This is anti-Hermitian operator. So this is very important, students. The 10th one, the commutator of x square p square is, this is CSIR June 2012 question. The commutator x comma px IH bar x square p square is equals to how much? There is one formula here. I am trying to give the formula x comma px square. If we have a commutator like this x comma px square, then the formula will be 2 times of IH bar px, or I will write more general formula x comma px whole power n is there, then the formula is n into IH bar px. In other ways, if we have x power n and px is an operator, then n into IH bar x, sorry, so here we should get n into IH bar x power n minus 1, here also n minus 1. So these are the formulas. Now we want to calculate x square p square. So x square and p square, it can be written as x into x comma p plus x comma p into x. That means this x square can be written as x into x. So one time I will take x from the left side, other time I will take the x to the right side. Okay, this is p square p square. So simply x into, what is the formula when you have xp power n is there? The formula is n into IH bar p power n minus 1. Here we have xp square. So the formula is 2 into IH bar p. So this one is simply 2 IH bar p plus again xp square. So this is also 2 IH bar p into x is there. Therefore take 2 IH bar common, you will get xp plus px. So this is the correct option. So which one is the correct option? Option B is the correct one. This is very simple. And there is a property like if you have three operators A, B, C, then I can write like this, A comma C and take B this side plus A comma B C. So this is one property of operators, commutating operators. So I have used the same formula here. There is another problem which appeared in CSIR exam December 2017. This is also same problem. Let x denote the position operator and p denotes the canonical conjugate of the momentum operator. The commutator where alpha and beta constants is 0. So he is saying that there is a commutation relation p square plus bx square comma p square by m plus gamma x square is 0. If this is 0, then what is the relation between alpha and beta? So use the commutation relation here. So p square by 2m p square by m. So I'm trying to expand this one plus p square by 2m commutator gamma x square. This is the first term plus beta x square comma p square by m. This is first one term, and beta x square comma gamma x square is equals to 0. And you know that p and p, they commute each other, x and x they commute each other, so that means this is 0, and this is also 0. So what are the remaining terms here? One is p square by 2m comma gamma x square is there. Another one is beta x square comma p square by m is given to be 0. Now simplify this one, you will get the answer. Just now we have calculated the commutation between p square x square, right? So use the same technique here. So now I want to take p from here, so I'll take p by 2m. So 1p is there, gamma x square, and again I will take 1 by 2m here, and p gamma x square, there is another p on this side. Similarly, you can take beta x, I can write it as x p square by m plus beta into x comma p square by m into x is equals to 0. So this is to how to write. This is the way to expand the commutations. So you can, if you want, you can take also gamma also outside. This is p gamma by 2m. What is p x square? Xp. When you have xp commutator, that is IH bar. Px will be minus IH bar. Therefore, this expression will, this one will become minus 2IH bar x, since it is like px square. So 2IH bar x power 2 minus 1. So I write minus 2h bar x. And this one gamma by 2m, again minus 2IH bar x into p is there. This is beta by m x into 2h bar by p, and this will become beta by m and 2IH bar p into x, that is equals to 0. When you simplify this one, you will get gamma is equals to 2 beta. This is simple mathematics you can do here. You get gamma is equals to 2 beta. So option 2 is the correct answer. Okay, there is another problem. If the two operators a and b satisfy the commutation relation a comma b is equals to I, where I is the identity operator, then e power a comma b is equals to e power a are like this. These are four options. This question appeared in CSR exam June 2013. So first let us start with e power a commutator b. So what is the correct answer? You know how to write e power a. A and b are two operators. Then e power a is a function of operators. Function operator. I can say this is a function operator. So how to write e power a? E power a can be written as 1 plus a square by 2 factorial plus a cube by 3 factorial plus and so on like this. Comma, there is an operator b. Okay. So if I write this one, I can write it as a 1 comma b operator plus a commutator b plus a square commutator b divided by 2 factorial plus a cube commutator b divided by 3 factorial and plus and so on. Any operator commutes with a scalar. Here 1 is a scalar, so this is 0. Any operator commutes with scalar, so that I can write 1 comma b is 0, and this is simply a comma b. And a square b can be written as, if you have two commutators, if you have two operators a power n comma b, this will be n into a power n minus 1. If this is a square and it is a b, then simply this is 2 into a. Therefore, I will write this one as 2 into a divided by 2 factorial. Since a comma b is I, so I can write this is like this, and this will become 3 into a square by 3 factorial plus and so on like this. And this is a comma b is what? A comma b is given by I, and here also you will get a, and here you will get a square by 2 factorial plus a cube by 3 factorial like that. So what is this? So everywhere you can write with I. So this is nothing but simply you can write e power a. Okay, so this is nothing but operator, a function operator, e power a. So option 1 is the correct option. This question appeared in CSR exam. Next, moving on to next problem. There is similar problem which appeared in CSR December 2014. So the commutator between x comma p, you have to calculate x comma p e power minus p. Here two things are combined together. So what I will do, first I will take p here, then it will become x e power minus p plus, you have to write, you have to take e power p minus from this side. So this is the way to write this one, and p into here x, then you have to write e power minus p. E power minus p is like 1 minus p plus p square by 2 factorial minus p cube by 3 factorial plus and so on. So, and this one xp is simply ih bar and e power minus p. So we expand here, x comma 1 commutator plus p into x comma minus p commutator plus p into x comma p square by 2 commutator plus and so on plus ih bar e power minus p. You just follow the technique that we used in previous problem, you will get the correct answer. So here the correct answer is the third one. You do the simple steps, you can get this one. Okay, the last one is the parity operator. So what is parity operator? The space reflection about the origin of the coordinate system is known as parity operator. P cap is parity operator. When this parity operator is operating on a wave function psi of r, then there will be a reflection of that one, the reflection of the position, okay, about the origin. That means plus r will become minus r, minus r will become plus r. Such type of operator is known as parity operator. Parity operator is involutory operator. That means p square is equals to I. P power n will be p if n is odd, like p cube will be p, and p power 4 will be I. So n is even, you will get identity operator, you will get p if n is odd. The parity operator is Hermitian, parity operator is unitary, and there are other properties of the parity operator, which one of them is important one. The parity operator has eigenvalues +1 and -1. There is a question which appeared in GATE 2016 related to the parity operator. For the parity operator P bar, which of the following statement is not true? First, you should remember that, students, what do you mean parity operator? When you operate the parity operator on the wave function, you will get space reflection. That means plus r will become minus r. When you apply this parity operator second time, like this, you will get same wave function psi of r. Therefore, this is p square operating on psi of r is nothing but p square is equals to I. This is the one condition. Parity operator is involutory, and parity operator is Hermitian, and parity operator is also unitary. Parity operator unitary means p dagger is equals to p inverse, or p dagger p is equals to I. This is the unitary condition, right? Which of the following statement is not? What is this? P dagger is p means parity operator is unitary, correct? And C, p square is I, parity operator is involutory. This is also correct. The first one correct, second C, third one correct. Parity operator is also unitary. This one is also correct. So p square is equals to minus p. This is the wrong one. So for this question, the parity operator, which of the following statement is not true, is this one. Option B is not true. So this question appeared in GATE 2016. Thank you, viewers. I hope you enjoyed the session. There are so many number of questions related to operators in CSR and GATE exams. So I try to solve some few of the questions. For more questions with solutions, you can visit our website natureacademy.in, or you can also follow our YouTube lectures. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video.